Hello, hello. Here we are, two of our back to school Biz Bootcamp. Oh my goodness, yesterday's program was phenomenal. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. We're so excited. Sarah's here. We've got other ladies joining us, other great coaches, consultants, trusted advisors, and thought leaders joining us. This is a gift of love to have us spend 12 days, 27 minutes a day. And as you all know, the number 27 has great significance about being about new beginnings, new adventures, new opportunities. It's a brilliant number when you really think about it. So the number 27. So we're taking 27 minutes for 12 days to talk about, engage in a conversation about growth, about business development, about life development, about really moving forward in our lives and bringing this vitality and energy and resilience. Sarah brought up the powerful word resilience to not only ourselves, but our communities, our families, our clients, and ultimately the world. And Sarah, thank you so much. You are doing that. And I just want to acknowledge and appreciate you as well. So there we go. I wanted to just say I'm Kathleen Caldwell, founder of C-Suite Network's Women's Coaching and Consulting Council and the Women's Success Accelerator. I get the great privilege to just I've created a community of we are powerful women. And it's so lovely. And we're doing things. We're always moving forward. We've always got events that our sisters can come to. And our goal is always to guide you and help you to promote, showcase, and highlight what you're doing as a coach and consultant, trusted advisor, and thought leader. So just wanted to introduce myself quickly. And the whole theme was really inspired by back to school. You know, this feeling of the kids are excited, you know, parents and families are excited. This whole going back to school. And yesterday's discussion was very powerful to remember back on the times when we were looking forward to this back to school season with anxiety, excitement, you know, not really sure about our teachers, not sure about our friends, not sure about everything. And so it was this feeling of anticipation back to school. And I think when we grow to be adults, sometimes that's lost. And so part of the commitment of this series is to guide us to remember back to that learning, that growth. And the discussion was very, very powerful because women were sharing about how they remembered the night before the first day of school, packing their lunchbox, packing their backpack, and just this excitement, this energy, not knowing what was to come, but it was the idea of moving forward and growing as a young person. So I'd like for us to rekindle that in our program today. So yesterday's program was, again, 27 minutes, very powerful. I talk fast because we have a lot that we have to cover, and we'll get engaged in a conversation here, is what's our big why? Yesterday was what is our big why for the work that we're doing? Because I believe it all starts with you. Yes, okay, some say it starts with your customer, your client. Okay, got it. But I believe it starts with you. And yesterday's conversation was about what is your big why? How can it be bold, indulgent, and generous? And so, you know, we had some definitions going yesterday. First was bold, showing an ability to take risks, confident and courageous, having a strong or vivid appearance or demeanor. So yesterday we were talking about how we can have a bold why for ourselves. So that's where I think it all starts. So thinking about what is your big why, okay? Yes, you've got your why for your clients and why you do your work, but I was sharing yesterday is about freedom. It's about opportunity. It's about expansiveness, contribution. It's like living my manifest destiny. Yes. And, you know, if you would like to share, Sarah, there's no pressure to do this, but, you know, your big why for the work you're doing for you in your life, really, really critical. Would you like to share any of that and make a declaration, dear?
I sure will. My big why is predominantly family. I have a very strong value base around family and community, and I wish to see that come to fruition for their future generations for stability. So my big why is to assure that my future generations will have something to fall back upon. Not just my legacy of what I'm known for, but stability for their own future is more important. So that is the big why.
Oh my gosh, excellent. And I can just tell you are a rock for your family. You are, from what you've shared, you're the person that people go to, the caring person, the nurturing person, Sarah, really. And it just naturally seems to me that you would take that out, of course, into the work you're doing. Your great care for people is what I'm hearing.
Yes,
Does that
absolutely.
resonate with you?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Since childhood, you take these courses and do a lot of reflection. And everything I've done in my whole life, I find myself as a mediator. If it's within
Mm.
family conflict, with it in business conflict, it doesn't matter. But that natural mediation ability is there. So I did recognize that. And that was a good thing to give me strength towards other goals.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And I also think that my husband is a mediator, and I also think that being a mediator is also a peacekeeper, that you're looking to keep the peace, create harmony, and your higher calling, what I'm hearing you say is peace not only for yourself, but for your family and ultimately for the world as well. Peace and harmony, right?
Yes
Happiness.
and no, actually, on that one, I
Ooh.
would say, yes, the focus is peace, but really it's to unite, even through
Mm.
difference.
Oh,
Not
excellent.
necessarily all peaceful, because there
Ah,
has to be some opposition there. That's natural. And if we don't face up, then we're in denial. So more to unite and get to understand our differences is more important.
I love that distinction. Thank you for mentioning that. That is even more powerful. Yes, yes, a uniter. That's really powerful. Wow, great, great. So, yesterday we were talking about having a big why for ourselves, and I appreciate you sharing that, Sarah. Thank you. Is the thinking about who our big why, of how we could even make it bolder. And yesterday we were talking about as well is how we could have a why for ourselves. And now we're going to shift also into, what it is that we want for our clients, our big why for our clients, our hopes and our dreams and our aspirations and our vision, so to speak, for our clients. And how can it also be indulgent? We were talking yesterday about, so many of us are very practical. We were brought up in practical environments. So how can we have a why that is also indulgent? And loving the definition of indulgent, willing to allow excessive leniency, generosity, or consideration, and also done or enjoyed as a special treat or pleasure. So how is it that we could have our why for not only ourselves, but also for our clients be indulgent? So thoughts coming to you. I'm going to pause the screen here, stop the share. Sarah, your thoughts on, a bold why for your clients, your vision for your clients, and an indulgent why when maybe they don't even have that for themselves, Sarah. I'm quite sure they don't have it for themselves. Yeah.
Probably, I will need a little more time to reflect on that. But what comes to mind immediately is to really bring out to the world a training program that is scientifically backed, that gives them the actual skill set, not opinions, not too much variables. I think keep it simple. I always think keep it simple, but give them the skill sets so that they can themselves help themselves as much as possible if they, are in that realm. The bigger influence would be to take this program, which I promote as the training of trainers, so that we have more people within our community training their businesses, training wherever,
Yes.
and then turn that into a peer-to-peer. That's where the influence would come in, so that they get
Beautiful.
motivated to come in because they are interacting within each other in an expansion format to allow it to grow.
Beautiful, really beautiful. And what I'm also hearing is, as a uniter, as a person who's creating dialogue and an exchange of ideas and an exchange of, passions and interests and challenges, so to speak, that's what I'm also hearing from you for them too, is, to kind of move into the we of it as opposed to the me of it, Sarah. Just some thoughts about that. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So our big why, creating this connection between our personal why it is that we want this great business, and this contribution for us personally, but also what's the why that we want for them. And, it's interesting, I often, during my intake and my interview process, is have a conversation about just this exact same thing, is what would be possible if, like designing their most perfect life and designing their most perfect outcomes, what would be possible if? And so, your thoughts about that, Sarah, as well as, being a dream buddy, with your clients,
Now, what would be possible if parents could be able to adapt to all these changes so that they could minimize the stress on the children at home?
Yeah.
So that we could possibly reduce a lot of the mental health crisis that is coming about. We need to adapt.
Yeah.
We need to adapt. And for us in Ohio, that is a big, big undertaking for sure. With Intel coming in, that is one big obstacle.
Yes.
And a positive obstacle, but that is something to overcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really think for you is, what I'm also hearing and what I know about that, the Ohio economy and around the world as well, is we have this opportunity to step into another level of thought leadership. And a client said this to me the other day, and I was so grateful for it. She said, who I am for her is a daydream believer. I believe in her daydreams. And I thought, oh, I love this. I love this. Yeah. And so often, as a corporate coach, consultant, or even, as a trusted advisor, is we're helping people to solve problems. And, I don't know about you, Sarah, but it's, it gets to be kind of like, oh gosh, problems, I get to be a great problem solver, but I'd rather be a daydream believer and a daydream helper, that type of thing. Yes, that would be part of my big why. And I thank you for this today, because I just realized it today that that's important to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, can you see for yourself, and for everyone watching the replay, we're so grateful you're watching the replay, is, really being a daydream, a dreamer kind of partner. And, I think for so many of our clients, they can't really, especially in corporate, they can't necessarily go to HR. They can't necessarily go to their manager or their supervisor or their leadership, their boss, as it's sometimes called, and go to peers and other people in the organization to talk about their daydreams, to talk about what's on their heart, to talk about their big why, because it may put their job at risk, So I think, again, your value, our value as a coach, a consultant, a trusted advisor, is to really help them with their daydreams and to make these daydreams into something powerful. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Sarah, your thoughts, your perspectives on any and all of this, the big why.
The big why, I mean, the daydream is beautiful. I agree with you. And I second that, on top of also night dream, get up. If you're thinking thoughts and it's waking up, write it down.
Yes, absolutely.
Dreams are
Yes.
powerful. It is a part of us and we need to acknowledge it. And you never know when the action comes through.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's one part of it. So definitely the daydreaming. To focus more in on my big why. You don't know this, so I'll spill my guts. Suicide is very close to me. It's an area that impacted my myself and my family.
Yes.
So with mental health issues and on the rise, and all of us trying to do a wraparound with mental health, there's so much opportunity, and not just opportunity, but care for our clients. We want to help them. One of the areas that affected me recently was taking the course on MRSS, which is the mobile response service. So I took that course to be more aware and could advocate for it. The statistics are quite alarming. So you find all different avenues, and your why expands. Your dreams expand. So then you have to refocus in to make sure you stay on track as well, but advocate for the other areas. And I don't know, it just keeps expanding. It doesn't contract. I can tell you that. If you follow your heart, follow your dream of what you know, what you speak of all the time, that's just a natural part of you. It just comes out.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, and we've got some sisters coming in the room. Thank you. Sarah, that was very powerful, really powerful. And I would like to, with our Women's Coaching and Consulting Council, we are all about sisterhood and, of course, brotherhood. That I'd like to make a connection between you and Sherry James, who's an esteemed faculty member. Sherry James is outside of Dallas, Texas, and she has a very, very powerful story that I think you can relate to. And she has resources. She has a podcast. I'm sure she would love to have you as a guest on her podcast, aligned with everything that you just shared. And I so appreciate that very much. And of course, I want to connect you with another esteemed faculty member, Cindy Chosick. Cindy Chosick is a ghostwriter, and she is guiding and mentoring powerful writers to get their books out there. And so she has many, many different resources. It's aligned with the topic that you just shared. So I think there's some synergy, Sarah, and we don't know where things will go, but you're demonstrating the power of sharing your real why, because resources are coming to support each of us, right? Resources that we don't even know. But if we keep that powerful why for ourselves and for our clients, how can others help? How can other people be part of it?
Correct.
Yes. So
Thank you.
Sarah, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Big appreciation to you. Wonderful. Sarah, if you'd like to come on, we're talking about, and we've got about 6 minutes left. We're just sharing what our big, bold why is for ourselves, not necessarily for our business, because we've already kind of shared a little bit about that, but for ourselves, why we're doing the work that we're doing. And then we moved in, and Sarah shared so powerfully. We've got 2 Sarahs on the call. Isn't that synergistic? Love it. Yeah. Of, what's our big hope and dreams, our big why for our clients. So if you'd like to come on and share, we'd love to get your point of view. And we're talking about what could be big, bold, indulgent, and generous. Very simple. What could be a big, bold, indulgent, and generous? Yeah. Your thoughts,
Okay.
Sarah Jones Thomas?
Sure. Bold. What was the second one?
Indulgent.
Indulgent. Okay. Sorry,
That's okay.
I apologize for coming on late to the call. My daughter's schedule got rearranged just this week, and so we're still adjusting. So
hey, it's all good, dear. It's all good.
Yeah,
We're glad you're
good
here.
to see you.
Big
And
kisses.
I wanted to hop on and so I am, let's see, big, indulgent, and I am in the process of just building my business and my life around. I always tell people, I was like, this sounds so bad, but I'm like, just building it to serve me and my family, like setting it up to be how we want it to begin with. And so, some people are like, okay, we did all this stuff. Okay, now how do I make it work with life? It's like, let's just decide what kind of life we want and then make the business work for that. How's that work for, So that's really what my husband and I have been doing. And so, I think everybody had time to reflect in the pandemic. Like, how do you want, what are the good parts of your business? What are the parts that are like, if I never had to do that again, that'd be fine, So, so just, it's great. It's good. I'm redoing my website. I'm working towards a big fashion presentation on, I do women's apparel, if you remember, but so I'm working towards a big fashion presentation on the 20th, next Tuesday, a week from yesterday. So kind of like last couple of days for any additional content. So that's why I'm actually halfway through cutting a new dress style that we're adding. We have some new faux fur that we're doing, some different things. So really fun. So, and I'm always, the good news, I have 4 big events in the next month, but this is the first one and the kickoff one and everything like that. And sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent, but really always extra inspired, or what all do we need? Oh, let's add that. So I have, you know, like
Nice.
30 things I want to add, not really, but you know, like a bunch of things. So it's like, okay, like what's the important parts? What are this? And just starting, you know, trying to have everything ready for this next month of events and shows and things like that. But yeah, it's, you know, again in big picture, folded in with my husband's company, different things. And we went to, in the midst of me having, you know, a million things to do and different things like that, we actually went to the 21 Pilots concert last night here in Dallas. It's my husband's favorite band. It's my husband's favorite band. And he's super busy with all the launch and everything of his company too. But it was like, you know what, kind of just making ourselves take that, you know, it's always, it's like, yeah, we can just, you know, grind, get it all out and all these things. But at the same time, it's like, especially we both have creative roles in what we do. And sometimes just like taking that time to have, you know what, this is a band we love this, and they were so talented. I mean, you could just tell that they're just such interesting people. You know, it did not disappoint. Everything was great. You know, my husband's super inspired.
Having a great, awesome, inspired life where you can go to concerts and do your launch and all of this.
So that's what we're doing. So that's what we're doing, is we're just trying to build it around everything we want, all our hopes and dreams. So
completely agree. Love it.
So I don't know if that answered your question. Sorry,
that's okay.
It's all good. That's what's going on with us. So
yeah.
But and sorry, I'm working in the garage today. So
perfect. So what you're illustrating, we've got a minute left, because I committed 27 minutes. The number 27 is all about new beginnings and new adventures. Yeah, is to, may I invite each of you and invite all of us, and when you're watching the replay, is yesterday's recording on our YouTube channel was about your big why for your life. Today is our big why for our clients. What's our why for them? And, you know, what's our biggest, highest vision for them and their lives? And of course, having a conversation with them about their big why is absolutely critical. But I so love, let's create businesses that we have our life and our business together, and that we have this beautiful harmony of life and work and life, and it all works for us. Okay. So final question before we complete here is, and we'll have the replay up here in just a moment, is that thinking about what will you do today? What will you do in the next 24 hours to realize or take a next step for your big why? So thinking about what it is in the next 24 hours, and that's how we'll complete our program, thinking about what you'll do. And if you have just one thing that's top of mind, I'm going to take ourselves off sharing here. We'll stop sharing the screens. What's your big thought about what could be next for you? Just one thing, one small step.
For me, it'll be changing my profile about section. It's
excellent. Time. Excellent. Sarah Kinney, love that.
Thank you.
Great. Yay. Good. Sarah Thomas, your thoughts. What's one small step? I know you popped on when you could pop on. We're so grateful that you were here.
Yeah, so sorry.
Small step. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, today I'm, working towards that show and just adding the 2 new styles I'm working on today. So that's moving me towards that goal. So
beautiful. Thank you. So with that, we'll complete our program. Tomorrow, same time, 1 o'clock Eastern, same channel. And by registering, you should have received it's the same link for all of the days. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about the power of listening, because we're intertwining skills and topics and leadership and thought leadership and growth and business development over our 12 days. So tomorrow is powerful listening. how to listen for what your clients are not saying that makes the biggest difference. Listening. Okay, so we'll have some tactical strategies, but we'll get the conversation going. Okay, so with that, lots of love to you. See you tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. It made a real difference for me today, and I love you for attending and sharing. Lots of love for now.
Thank you,
See you
everyone.
tomorrow. Bye
Bye,
bye.
tomorrow.
Thank
Okay.
you. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.